And here are the top stories. 60 dead after fire raises Iraqi shopping center. Plateau community accuses Nigerian military of complicity after herdsmen killed 27 people. Dele Momodu resigns from PDP, joins ADC, and indications emerge. Buhari's CPC bloc may dump APC ahead of 2027 elections. Details now. In a tragic development on the foreign scene, a fire that tore through a shopping center in the Iraqi city of Kut has left at least 60 people dead, according to officials. The blaze at the mall, which had reportedly opened 5 days ago, broke out on Wednesday night and has since been brought under control. Social media videos showed firefighters rescuing people from the mall's roof, but state media reported that many are still missing. Back home in Nigeria, the Birom Youth Molders Association has accused security agents of complicity in the killing of at least 27 farmers, including men and women, in a fresh attack by gunmen in Bindi Jebu, a community in Tahos district of Riyom local government area in Plateau State. The attack, which occurred between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., was allegedly carried out by armed groups from Bangai, Fulani, Ganawuri, and surrounding areas. In a joint statement issued on Tuesday by the Secretary General of the BYM, Ilya Adazaram, and the national president Solomon Dalia, the association condemned the massacre, describing it as a deliberate and coordinated assault under the watch of compromised security operatives. According to the youth leaders, the attackers stormed the community, opened fire on sleeping residents, and set several homes ablaze. The BYM has lamented that despite prior intelligence about the impending attack, the reinforcement team from Operation Safe Haven allegedly failed to act decisively. While commending the unit commander at SOP for efforts to repel the attackers from one direction, the group criticized another OPSH unit for allegedly parking by the roadside and failing to intervene during the massacre. You're listening to the World News at 12. We'll now connect with Solomon Daliop, the national president of the Birom Youth Leaders Association in Plateau State. Mr. Daliop, welcome to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Can you hear me, sir? Mr. Daliop, can you hear me? Please unmute your microphone so that you can hear me, sir. Mr. Daliop, can you hear me? Please join the conversation.
We shouldn't just jump to conclusions and just blame people. We should be fair.
You're listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're trying to connect with Mr. Solomon Daliop, the national president of the Birom Youth Leaders Association, so that he can actually talk to us about the massacre that happened in Plateau State earlier in the week, where 27 people were killed. Gory pictures show women and children, infants, bleeding after the attack in the area. Mr. Solomon Daliop, can you hear me? Good afternoon, sir. Hello, Mr. Daliop, are you there? Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Thank you so much. Mr. Daliop, I need you to please turn on your camera so that we can see what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence this afternoon. Now, on Tuesday, you are the national president of Birom Youth Molders Association in Plateau State, right? You issued a statement along with the Secretary General of the movement on Tuesday saying that the Nigerian military is complicit in the attack that happened that killed 27 people in Plateau State, that is in Bindi Jebu community. You told me that you are in the community. We are streaming live on YouTube right now. They're watching you all over the world. I need you to step out from where you are and show us your surroundings. Please, let's just see, switch to your back camera so that we can see around you and see what is happening.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing that. What is your reason for saying that the military is complicit in the killing of these 27 persons? Gory pictures show babies, infants bleeding. It's been so terrible. We can't even show these videos, or we can't put them up we just cannot put them up on radio or on TV. But I need you to tell us, as the national president of Birom Youth Mothers Association, why you accuse the military of being complicit in the murder of these 27 persons by herdsmen.
Yeah, we are accusing the military because in the first place, there was an early warning given them. I personally called the sector commander and intimated him about the planned attack and the advancement of the attackers at about 5 or 6 p.m. of that Monday. And of course, he actually assured me that he is going to be military deployment. And he did deploy the military to the general area. And of course, at about 10 p.m., the attackers came and were repelled in the first instance. So
they were repelled by the military.
At about 3 a.m., yes, of course. At about 3 a.m., the attackers came and Vigilante and the unit commander that came from SOAP stood and resisted them. But there was a reinforcement team that came from the sector headquarters, which is just like 3 kilometers away to the scene of the situation or to the environment that was attacked. And when that reinforcement team arrived, they only released 3 guns according to eyewitnesses. And it was at that point where the reinforcement team stationed themselves that the massacre was carried out. In short, there is another version of the story that even the youth leader that was killed at about 6 a.m. in the morning was shot by the security that one of the that came from the reinforcement. As I'm talking to you, you can see this is a pastoral where 9 people were burned to ashes. And from where I am now to military station, them it's like 30 meters. Like 30 meters away.
How many minutes would it have taken the military to get to the scene of the attack?
In short, from where the reinforcement team station itself on foot, it should be 30 seconds, not even a minute.
You are saying that they were not far from the attackers at all, but they did not help.
The reinforcement team was right inside the community. Was right inside the community where I am now. To the site it's like 30 steps, 30 footsteps. So if you can hear it well, you can even hear the sound of motorcycles, and vehicles are passing by.
So the community is just along the roadside. It wouldn't have taken the military so much time to go in and repel the attackers.
The community is right by the roadside, and where the military are stationed themselves, especially that reinforcement team, is just within the community. And this house that I was, the Reverend and his wife were the only 2 survivors. But all the people in the house were burned to ashes. And the Reverend was calling that the attackers are already in his residence. And nobody from the reinforcement side will advance to where the attackers had been. And this attack lasted for more than 2 hours. But surprisingly, we had another version that the attackers blocked the military from coming to. That is to say, the attackers blocked the reinforcement team from coming into the area. And the question we ask is that, where did they block them? And if they were blocked, did they engage the attackers? No. But the people, the community saw this military that came when the incident was ongoing, and they released 3 gunshots according to eyewitness account, and they folded their hands and then allowed this thing to all happen, and attackers fled. And where the reinforcement team, that is station itself, that is where the massacre was carried out.
Mr. Dale,
the other thing that came from SOAP area, which is like a kilometer away into this place, stood their ground, and no single house was touched. No one person was injured, not to even talk of one person killed. But where the other team was stationed, the reinforcement team, that is where the massacre was perpetrated.
So you are saying there were 2 teams. The first team tried to repel the attackers, but the reinforcement team actively joined the attackers, because you made a grave allegation saying that the reinforcement team, that is men in military camouflage, who you think to be the Nigerian military, joined the attackers to actually open fire on armed Nigerians, innocent Nigerians in their homes in Plateau State.
It is either they joined the attackers or folded their hands by position of duty and allow the attackers to carry out the carnage that was meted up on this particular place. I am standing. I am right there now.
Mr. Daliop, what I want you to do is to please, I want you to turn your camera around. Let us see your surrounding areas. You said that houses were burnt, right? If you can switch to your back camera, let's see what is happening around you. Let's say the houses that were burnt around you. Let us see what's going on within your environment as at this moment.
Now you can see this is a pastorium. This is where 9 people were burnt to ashes. You can see it. You can see here. You can see here. These are the clothes of the people that were burnt. This is the.
All right, Mr. Daliop, please step out. I think the more you go in there, the more the network seizes. So please step out. Let's have a conversation. If you can actually show us this from outside the building, we appreciate it very much. Yes, we can see.
You can see in the traces of some of the corpses that were burned to ashes. Okay.
So was it the State Emergency Management Agency that took away these corpses?
Yeah, you can see the building. Yeah, the Road Safety Commission actually came in. They were the ones that packed all the corpses. But of course, there are corpses that were born beyond recognition, and those ones were not able to be taken to the mortuary because we want an autopsy to be carried out, and then of course the state burial be given to the people. But of course, there are the corpses that were born beyond recognition, and it wasn't advisable for them to be taken to the mortuary. So those were hurriedly buried on Monday, on Tuesday, that is before yesterday.
Mr. Daliop, you said that you had intel before this attack took place and that you made sure that the governor's office got to know about this intel and that Operation Safe Haven security agents around there got to know about this intel. Why do you think that, why did they not, if they did get this intel, if you made sure that they got this intel, how come they did not repel the attackers before they even got into the village? Seeing the spate of attacks that have been happening in that area.
Exactly. I personally call the commander. Personally, I place a call on him that this is the important thing. And this is not the first attack that we have witnessed. We've been witnessing a series of killings just within this year. From January to date, in your local government alone, we lost not less than 50 people in similar attacks. As at last week, even as on Tuesday, as on Wednesday, even on Sunday, there were a series of attacks. Even on Monday, there was an attack and killing. On Tuesday, apart from this place, people of God were also attacked and killed. People of Gon were also attacked and some people killed. Somebody around that district of Riom local government was attacked and also killed. And surprisingly, in most of these attacks, whatever Fulani do attack a community, they will come up with a flimsy or unestablished report that either their account had been rustled, there will be no evidence, or what it can define their attack. Now, if you last 2 weeks ago, there was an allegation that a Fulani boy was missing. And then the Fulani boy was said, allow the security agents to carry out their discreet investigation. They came out in mass from this same settlement of the Bange Fulani settlement. They came and attacked the people on even this Sunday.
You are saying that you are saying that this attack was carried out by Fulani herdsmen, and you think it is connected to a Fulani boy who went missing last week?
It did not even last ago. Not even according to the allegation, it was said that the Fulani boy was missing on Monday. That was the allegation.
Okay, a Fulani boy went missing on Monday, and then this attack happened later in the night.
Exactly.
Has the boy been found? Has the boy been found?
Now listen. Anytime they want to attack the community, they will frame up a report and give it to the military. Now, as I'm talking to you, two from Gon are under the military continued detention over an unestablished fact of a Fulani boy missing. Now, the same thing, and it is in that same community that 5 people have been killed in Gon village of the community area of local government. So again, so that they can excuse themselves to come and attack the village, they now came up with the same fabricated story of a Fulani boy missing. They killed 27 people and raised almost part of the community down. Now, virtually over 1,000 people have been displaced from this community, and the same Fulani have now gone and destroyed virtually all the farmland. On Monday alone, they went and destroyed a whole community. They destroyed over 30 farmlands. They mowed them down completely.
So you're saying that there are some of these attacks that haven't even been reported. Now, here's this one thing, Mr. Daliop. You said, right, that the first team from Operation Safe Haven actively tried to repel the attackers and save the villagers, right? But the reinforcement team in military camouflage may have actually actively helped these herdsmen and bandits in opening fire on the villagers, right?
Exactly.
For the first team, how come they were they able to get any one of these attackers? Were they able to apprehend any of these attackers?
That is one surprising thing that we keep asking. In all these attacks, we've not seen any arrest. We've not seen any Fulani kill. Of course, the other team will want to believe that they stood their ground and resisted or repelled the attackers or scared them away. Which, whether there was killing or not, which we have not seen any. Whether there was killing of any of the attackers or not, which we have not seen any. That one is by the way. But this one, assuming they had repelled them, even if they had scared them, just like the way the other team tried and have been commented, I want to believe this thing wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have been there talking about the condition and the complexity of the key in the area.
Mr. Daliop, we're actually having issues hearing you at this moment. Can you hear me, Mr. Solomon Daliop? Mr. Daliop, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
What I want to ask is the governor, anytime these kind of issues happen, the governor comes up and then says, these are the few things he's doing to ensure that the security of lives and properties in different areas of Plateau State. But how would you actually rate the governor's response or the office of the governor, their response to these kind of attacks? At some point, we heard that these attackers are not even indigenous Fulani people. They are not Fulani people indigenous to Nigerians or herdsmen indigenous to Nigerians, but coming from other areas of the Sahel. Is this something that you agree with? How has the response been from the governor's office when this intel comes?
Well, the governor does not carry out to repel attackers. He gives instruction. He has instructed the security agents to respond timely and rapidly. But of course, the response is what we are questioning. And you can see how objective we are. We are able to commend one part of the security and now condemning the dereliction of duty on the part of the other reinforcement team. That so we want to believe that the governor has a heart, because the governor came here yesterday. He was in Katsina day before yesterday, and today he visited the scene. He assured the people that government will not leave any stone unturned. And indeed, presently we are having the presence of mobile police in this environment, and you could see how the people prepare to have mobile police rather than military. So it now baffles and a kind of impedes on the integrity of Nigerian military. Not all of them. You must also make the record straight. Not all of them, because a good number of them are performing well, and a certain number of them are compromising. So it's those compromising that we are calling for their investigation as a matter of urgency and a matter of developing confidence in the people that are gradually losing confidence on the military.
Mr. Daliop, before you go, just last week, the Plateau State government recruited 150 people, right? New people into the agro rangers to strengthen local security and to protect rural populations. Has this worked at all?
It has a little extent, because 150 agro renters cannot be able to man the farmlands.
What kind of
Even
weapons are these agro rangers? What kind of weapons are they equipped with?
Well, of course, they are carrying light weapons, just like any other federal security agents, because they are personnel virtually recruited from Nigeria Civil Defense Corps. So they carry, weapons. I don't know the name of the weapon, AK-47. I don't know, but they are well equipped, even though not equipped adequately that they can be able to contain the attackers, because these attackers come with sophisticated weapons that are higher than even this AK-47 and other, regular weapons. So they cannot be able to even withstand them. As far as we are concerned, these are bandits, these are terrorists that have been brought. And then, of course, talking about indigenous Fulani. On the plateau, we don't have indigenous Fulani, but we have Fulani that have been hosted over time. And it is those ones that have been hosted over time that some among them have turned to be terrorists in a terrorist decline and have invited the bandits to come and force for them to prosecute this ongoing genocide in carnage and as well as crime against humanity on the plateau, particularly in Riom local government.
Mr. Daliop, just before you go, there's, I want us to also look at this other aspect of this particular situation. You're saying that these are people who have naturalized. They are not indigenous to Plateau State, but they have naturalized into Plateau State. Over time, they've been accepted into the community, and then this have happened. What measures are the people taking to protect themselves? In 1 minute.
Well, the people are not trying now. The measures the people are trying to do is to have local vigilante organize themselves and then carry those licensed weapons like home action, which can only be used for self-defense. And then these are communities that are very poor, that cannot be able to even afford those kind of weapons. So we are now using this medium to call on the federal government to recruit local and native inhabitants and also indigenous people and recruit them into the joint civilian JTF, so that they can be able, they can be equipped and then contain the attackers. Otherwise, it will just be a cycle of violence, because these people are coming with sophisticated weapons and they have their sponsors. So it's not only coming to fight the bandits of the plateau, but also stress the sponsors, which are believed to be their high experts in power.
Again, before you go, Mr. Daliop, you said, right, that the Operation Safe Haven officials tried to repel the attackers, but the reinforcement team, putting on military camouflage, according to what eyewitnesses told you, joined the bandits to attack innocent and unarmed people. Now, we're looking at the fact that this may not actually have been the reinforcement team, but their fellow bandits dressed in military camouflage. Have you been able to decipher the identities of these reinforcement agents who you said joined the bandits to open fire on innocent unarmed people?
No, there are some of the native inhabitants that were with them, and immediately they saw them. They expected that no, since the reinforcement is going to repel the attackers, and they only released 3 gunshots to scare the attackers.
Operation Safe Haven only released 3 gunshots to save the people from the attackers.
Yes. According to eyewitness account, that only 3 gunshots they released to scare the attackers away. But of course, the attackers came in mass, and there was no engagement. There was no engagement from the team to repair this one. That was why they perpetrated the heinous crime with where they were stationed.
Mr. Daliop, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon to talk about the events that unfolded in Plateau State about 2 days ago. As you continue to hold the government and security agents accountable, we would implore you to please stay safe. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Thank you so dearly. You have been listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're joined by Mr. Solomon Daliop, the youth leader of Birom in Plateau State, who's been giving us an insight into what's really been going on in that area. We'll now take the news from Voice of the People 96.1 FM, Abuja.
Good afternoon. Here are the major news. I am Folashayo Adigun. The Minister of Education, Tuji Alausa, says efforts are underway to collaborate with the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and the National Assembly to resolve the issue of unpaid salaries for government school teachers in Abuja. Alausa disclosed this on Wednesday at the official launch of the National Policy on Non-State Schools in Abuja, held in partnership with the British High Commission and the Partnership for Learning for All in Nigeria. He stressed the need for a structural overhaul to end the recurring salary crisis in the FCT's education system, pointing out that unlike other states with functional state universal basic education boards, the FCT lacks such a structure. The minister also acknowledged the role of Minister Wike in quietly solving the recent teachers' strike, which led to the resumption of classes in early childcare and primary schools across the territory. In a related development, Alausa unveiled the new national policy on non-state schools, describing it as a key component of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. According to him, the policy aims to expand access to quality education, improve standards, and reduce the number of out-of-school children. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has arrested one Yaya Sali for attempting to bribe police officers handling a kidnapping case. According to a statement by the command spokesperson SP Josephine Ade, Yaya offered a bribe of 1.5 million naira to secure the release of a suspected kidnapper currently under investigation. She said the suspect approached investigators with the intent to compromise the case and unlawfully free the suspect from custody. However, the officers rejected the offer and immediately initiated legal procedures, leading to Yaya's arrest. The police say investigations are ongoing to track down other members of the syndicate. This comes as the FCT Police Command continues its crackdown on kidnappers terrorizing parts of the nation's capital. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) Limited has reduced the pump price of petrol at its retail stations, with the price now at 895 naira per litre in Abuja and 865 naira in Lagos. The latest cut signals growing competition in the deregulated downstream markets and follows a recent move by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery, which slashed its ex-depot price from 840 naira to 820 naira per litre on July 8th. This marks the second reduction in 2 weeks by the privately owned refinery, which had earlier brought the price down from 880 naira. On Wednesday, NNPC retail stations along Igando Road in Lagos and in Kubwa, Abuja, reflected the new pump price, representing a 15 naira to 20 naira decrease. Until now, NNPC had been selling petrol at 910 naira per litre in Abuja and 885 naira in Lagos. The pricing shift comes amid mounting pressure from independent marketers and regulators to ensure competitive pricing and stable supply across the country. A man, Emmanuel Otokpa, has been arraigned before magistrate court in Gwagwalada, Federal Capital Territory, for alleged criminal breach of trust and cheating. Otokpa, who has no fixed address, was brought before the court on a 2-count charge. Police prosecutor Abdullahi Tanko told the court that the complaint, Ifeanyi Nwakwo of Gwagwalada, reported the case on June 28th. Granted him bail in the sum of 200,000 naira with one surety in like sum. The case was adjourned to July 22 for hearing. I am Folashayo Adigun.
You're still listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now, veteran journalist Chief Dele Momodu has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party (PDP), citing what he described as the party's takeover by anti-democratic forces. In a letter dated July 17, addressed to the PDP Ward 4 chairman in Ihiefbe, Owan, East Local Government Area of Edo State, Chief Momodu announced his immediate departure from the party. He had joined the PDP in 2021 and actively engaged in national debates and party affairs. His departure follows a series of resignations by notable figures disenchanted with internal party dynamics. Just yesterday, Atiku Abubakar, the party's presidential candidate in the 2023 elections, announced his resignation, noting that he found it necessary to part ways due to current trajectory the party has taken, which, according to him, diverges from the foundational principles it formally stood for. The death of former President Muhammadu Buhari has reignited speculations about the political future of his loyalists, particularly those from the now-defunct Congress for Progressive Change, CPC, the party he founded in 2009. Since the emergence of President Bola Tinubu in 2023, the influence of CPC loyalists has waned, with some key figures such as ex-Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai and former Secretaries to Government of the Federation Babachir Lawal openly opposing Tinubu's potential second-term bid. Meanwhile, ADC's interim National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi claimed in an interview that several of Buhari's close allies had already joined their coalition. Still on the world news at 12, former Secretary General of the Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF, Anthony Sani, has dismissed the chances of former Governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, in the 2027 presidential race, insisting that the North does not trust him enough to hand over power, even for a single term. The Northern Elder Statesman said President Bola Tinubu remains the most likely beneficiary of Northern votes, adding that the political dynamics do not favor the opposition coalition. I'm now being joined by political analyst Mr. Lawal Ekundaya to speak on these developments within the PDP. Mr. Ekundaya, good afternoon and thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
Mr. Ekundaya, can you hear me? Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me on the World News at 12.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So, Dele Momodu actually tendered his resignation to the PDP just today, July 17, saying that he is disenchanted by the party's internal dynamics. He's saying that the party has departed from everything. In fact, the party has been taken over by anti-democratic forces. This was after Atiku Abubakar, who has been the party's presidential candidate for as long as many politically conscious Nigerians can remember, also tendered his resignation yesterday. And Dele Momodu is moving to the ADC. Atiku Abubakar has been a part of the ADC coalition ever since it was announced. Would you say that these people are not just totally disenchanted with the PDP, but that the party is now a carcass that does not have what it takes to win a presidential election anymore? What's your take on all of this?
Now, it's not that PDP does not have what it takes. The problem now with PDP is that PDP has been, destroyed from the inside. So because it's destroyed from the inside, it is scattered. So people have to begin to find their level. That's why you see some people moving that way, because PDP is now, like a fragment of the opposition. It has been destroyed. So nobody can actually get anything serious from PDP. So PDP is a tool in the hands of the opposition for now. That is why you see many of them moving out of it. So that's the situation now.
So the PDP has become a tool in the hands of the opposition. Didn't people like Atiku and others recognize this before now? If they did not go into the ADC coalition, would they have left the PDP?
No, they were going to leave PDP. That's what I suspected, because each one of them that has the ambition or wants they have the party philosophy, discover that all these things cannot be realistic again with the party, because some of the strong members of the party are already working against the party from inside. So if you have one of the strong members working against the party from inside, that is enough to cause problem for anybody. So that is what PDP is going through. That's why I said it has destroyed from inside. So it's now a fragment. So anybody who has the ambition or wants the progress for PDP cannot actually do that now, because as of now, the opposition is using it. That is what's good. That's why you see them moving out. Nothing good can really come out of PDP that is so serious now.
You believe that nothing good can come out of the PDP as at this moment? Is it due to the fragmentation?
Yes, nothing good can come out.
Does that mean you support Atiku Abubakar, Dele Momodu, and anyone else who wants to leave the PDP to the ADCs to do that immediately?
Why not? You see, Obi left the party. If Obi did not leave that party that time, you would not have known that some people are behind Obi. Obi is also a powerful opposition force in Nigeria. But he moved away when he saw what was going, saw the handwritten sign on the wall. So he left. Now, the same thing, they are leaving now. So I said it earlier on that for now, PDP will get back itself, but not now. For now, the mission of the opposition, who are using some powerful forces in the party, their mission is to make sure that the party does not hold anything. That's why it's fragmentized. So until this election passed, before PDP will now start getting itself back. So as they are leaving now, those who are creating the problem now will have nothing to hold on to. Because the reason why they are creating problem in PDP is because they don't want that party to be a strong opposition. Now that some powerful people who have ambition are leaving the party, therefore those people who are working against the party from inside, we have nothing to do again. Very soon they will be useless. And then you start seeing them outside again. You start seeing the true color of these people. That's what I see.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ekundayo. Now, still on the political permutations that are happening ahead of 2027, there are indications that the Buhari CPC bloc may actually dump the APC and join Atiku's ADC coalition ahead of the 2027 elections. Some political analysts believe that now that the former president is no more, the APC may face renewed challenges from the late former president's followership. Okay, it's about, people keep talking about Buhari and his 12 million votes, that this may be added to Atiku's coalition, or it may be divided between Atiku's coalition and the APC's Bola Tinubu in 2027. What's your take on that?
In fact, it's not going to be Atiku and Obi that will take the share. I mean, it's not going to be Atiku and Bola Ahmed Tinubu that will take the share of the people who were following the former president. So many others. Some chunks will go to Obi. Some chunks will go to Kwankwaso. Some chunks will go to Atiku. Some chunks will go to APC. Some chunks will follow the vice. That is the vice of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So there will be a fragmentation. So when they are fragmentized, so each one will be looking for where to attach itself to and its group. So that's what is going to happen. So everybody will be taking chunks. So that depends on how you can present yourself to them, because as of now, the moment the president and the former president has died, there's that disjunction. They are lost. So they'll be looking for what to adjust to attach to as of this moment. So all of them will now be looking for points to attach to. So there'll be a lot of fragmentation before they will now begin to rearrange themselves again. So a lot of things is going to happen before 2027. You are going to see a lot of rearrangement in Nigerian politics, because APC is formed majorly by CPC, which followed Buhari and some other people who are with him. Even some chunks will also follow El Rufai. Don't forget that. Some chunks of this CPC that were following Buhari, some of them will still go after El Rufai and attach to El Rufai. So there are so many disjunctions around for now, so that before the election of 2027, you will now see them rearranging again, maybe from coalition here and being convinced here. So a lot of things is going to happen to them. So we are expecting it.
Now here is one thing, Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. Can you hear me, sir?
Hello,
Mr. Ekundayo, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
The interim national public secretary of the ADC, that is Bolaji Abdullahi, claimed in an interview that several close allies of former late President Muhammad Buhari has already joined the ADC coalition. He says that Buhari's legacy will be preserved by the coalition. He also said the APC had vilified the late president during his lifetime, that they were always blaming Buhari for almost every economic woe that Nigeria encountered. So why would Buhari followers or loyalists remain within the APC? Is this really a good enough reason to say, okay, they will no longer be a part of the APC, but will rather join Atiku's ADC coalition?
That's one of the reasons. There have been so many reasons. You know what brought APC together? That is what formed the APC. It's not something. It's not an ideology of a movement. It's an ideology of some godfathers who come together and want to unseat Jonathan. So when they succeeded in unseating him, there was no really any ideology except whatever the godfather that they are following says. So all those things is going to happen again, because you see now they are blaming. They were blaming, as you said, they were blaming Buhari for the woes. On one part, they will be praising him. On the other part, they'll be blaming him. So that is causing a lot of issues among his followers. You remember when during the protest, some of those followers went to Buhari's house. They protested to his house and came back. El Rufai went to see Buhari and tell him that he's leaving APC, and Buhari gave him his blessing. So you can see that many of them are not happy with what is going on in APC. So they will find a way to cling back to some. So some will go back to APC anyway. Some will go back to ADC. Some will go back to some other party. They will start, rearranging this. That's why I said we are going to see a lot of rearrangements in this politics before 20. By the end of this year, you are going to see a lot of rearrangement. Even in PDP, even in Labour, you are going to see a lot of rearrangement. That is why they are trying as much as possible to make sure that this ADC is having some crisis. Labour, the ADA is being delayed in registration. Is part of all the permutations that every one of them is planning. And the opposite, the coalition of the opposition, they are not babies. They are not inexperienced in politics. They too are also playing their games all over the place. So there's going to be a lot of exoduses, emigration across political parties as time goes on. It's going to be very interesting as time goes on.
Mr. Ekunayo, let's go back to Atiku and his resignation from the PDP. This will be the third time that the presidential aspirant has actually left the PDP. I mean, the first time in 2007, he was a sitting vice president, to then President Olusegun Obasanjo. He left the PDP to contest for president on the ticket of the AC. That was the Action Congress. Then, when he didn't win, he returned to the party after the elections. Now, when the APC was formed in 2014, he defected to the APC to challenge the late President Buhari for the party's ticket, but he did not clinch the party's ticket. Buhari instead clinched it and became president in 2015, only for him to return to the PDP in 2018. In 2019, he contested for president. It was an Atiku Obi joint ticket in 2019. Then Obi himself defected from APGA and became his running mate. For it being the third time that he's leaving the PDP, would you say that if this ADC coalition does not work for him, he might be returning home to the PDP?
I seriously doubt it, because for him to have resigned and look at the time, I don't think he's going to go back to PDP now. So
is there there's a difference between resignation and the defection? If he resigns, does it mean he can't come back?
Well, if you resign, he can come back, but I don't think his party is going to come back for this 2027. Because PDP, I've told you before that PDP is already fragmentized. There's a serious, disease in PDP now that needs to be cleaned, and the disease is caused by the top people who are in PDP. So nothing good is going to come out for Obi or Atiku if any one of them go back to Labour. To PDP. Nothing good is going to come out for them. That is why you see them leaving, and it's good for them to leave because of their ambition. I am not saying that the ambition is wrong, and I'm not saying it's right, because somebody can, if you want to do good, you can be ambitious. If you want to do bad, you can be ambitious. So ambition is a neutral ground for anybody who have an intention to do something. So for him to leave and resign, I don't think he's going to come back now. I don't think. And the reason all this movement across board, I don't see anything that is wrong with it as of now, because our political system is a type of political system that doesn't carry ideology. It doesn't carry party ideology. It carries personal ideology. That is what almost all political parties have been, except maybe one or two of them, maybe like NCP that was deregistered then. It has its own separate ideology. It doesn't follow any godfather. Maybe that was why it was deregistered at that time. Now, so coming back to that, for Atiku to resign, I don't think it's coming back to PDP for now. That's it. In fact, a lot of people will leave PDP. In fact, PDP will become so low that those who are being used to destroy PDP will now find themselves having nothing to fight, and they will start seeing their face outside. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. Please, before you go, let's quickly talk for a minute or two about a former Secretary General of Arewa Consultative Forum saying that Peter Obi is not trusted in the North. He's saying that the North would rather show their allegiance to President Bola Tinubu than to put it at the foot of Obi. In fact, he's saying that President Tinubu can still get Northern votes because of Buhari supporters who will not like to betray Buhari because he had told them that he was in APC. He was in the APC before he died. He died as a member of the APC. He said Buhari's loyalists will not abandon the ruling party. Okay, and the North cannot trust Peter Obi that he will do one term, saying President Jonathan pledged to do one term, but he reneged on that agreement. What's your take on that?
That is one man speaking. Nigerians are wiser now. This is a new Nigeria. I keep telling people, Nigerians are wiser now. So one person will not just come out and be telling what people will do. They are wiser. You remember what happened in 2023? They said the same thing about Obi now, that it's not even part of the race. This one will not do it. But he did very, very well. In fact, it was outstanding. He created fear and panic across the country and the world. So Obi is a force on his own. Obi, that's why they have that Obi movement or whatever. But in fact, it's not even about the Obi movement, that obedient. It's about the people, what the people believe in. There are so many people who don't know him and voted for him in 2023. So whatever anybody can say now is not going to hold water because Nigerians are wiser. Everybody is suffering. In fact, almost all the masses are feeling the brunt, the pain. They are not really enjoying the democracy of this country. So they are wiser. They are wiser. So that what that person is saying is his own side. You can continue to say it. That will not decide the minds of Nigeria. You see what will happen. You see the waves. Hello?
I'm with you, Mr. Ekundayo. Please round up.
Okay. So what I'm just going to say is that Nigerians should just be watchful. They should not allow their conscience to be bought. They should vote for the right person. Right person though is not the person who comes with them with money or with something to entice them or buy their conscience. The right person is the person that has something to say. Somebody who can ask questions, somebody who can convince people, and who has an idea and a good policy to move this country forward. That is the person Nigeria should be looking forward to, and then where they should put their vote. The person they should keep behind and put their vote, and not person who come to indict them or buy their conscience over, because this country belongs to all of us. What will happen in 2027, if we don't get it right in this 2027, it will be worse after 2027. That's my take.
Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, I must thank you for joining me on the World News at 12 this afternoon. Thank you so much.
And
of course, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow for VOP's third year anniversary.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You have been listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that 60 people have died after fire razed an Iraqi shopping center. Plateau community accuses Nigerian military of complicity after herdsmen killed 27 people. Dele Momodu resigns from PDP, joins ADC, and indications emerge that Buhari's CPC bloc may dump APC ahead of 2027 elections. That is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Choma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM for coverage of your live events and brand news mentioned in our news bulletins. Do send a mail to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good afternoon and thank you very much for listening. Do stay tuned. Coming up shortly will be Martyrs with Solomon Ofem.